Hello, everybody. You all know why I'm here. You all know why I'm live. It's Wrestling Week in Review podcast / live stream number 35. Cannot believe I've been doing this for 35 times. And I've even been doing it, and I've been doing this long before that. Even long before that, I've been doing this. I've been just talking about wrestling even long before I started calling them Wrestling Week in Review. I've just been doing them since forever, since last year. Yeah, I think it was like after WrestleMania 38 that I started doing these. I started just going live on YouTube and talking about wrestling because it's what I like. My hair's not the best. Hair's not completely the best, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna leave the hat on for now. But you guys know why I'm here. And thank you, Aaron, for leaving that comment. If there's anybody that comes into the live stream that wants to leave a like, you don't have to do it. It's not required, but I would appreciate it so much. I would appreciate it very much. Well, you guys know why I'm here. The only reason why I'm an hour earlier than I normally would be is that tonight, my church, I go to church every Sunday. Our church tonight is having a caroling thing where they go caroling and they go to different people's houses and sing carols, basically. My mom and my sister are going to be doing that, and it's at 5, and it starts at 5, so we're going to have to leave at 4 instead of 5 or after like we usually do. So that's the only reason why I decided I was going to do this an hour earlier, but it's still going to be me talking about all the wrestling this week all the stuff that I liked, maybe even the stuff that I maybe didn't like, who knows. But you guys know why I'm here. Again, if there are people just now coming in that want to leave a like on the live stream, feel free to do so. It's never required, but I would appreciate it. And thank you. Hey, Austin. And also, as always, I'm drinking my Powerade. Mixed the berry. Like always. Well, not like always, because sometimes I don't have mixed berry, and sometimes I'll have fruit punch or the orange flavored Powerade. Sometimes I'll even have a soda, like a Sprite or something. No, he was gonna be live streaming a college football game. Or college basketball, I don't know, but he said it was gonna be live streaming today, so I'm thanked him for the like and the comment, and no, I don't think he's still here. You know why I'm here, so let's just get into it. The Wrestling Week in Review. Starting off with Monday Night Raw. Like I've said now a couple times now when I'm doing this, what I do is oh yeah, and there's Austin Benninger's YouTube channel. If there's anybody that comes into the live stream that is a mod that wants to put their channel in the chat, a link to their channel in the chat, just want to see if y'all can get some more subscribers. I'm currently trying to get to 400. I want to get to 400. I'd also want to get to 500 at some point because I want to get monetized. Now, not that you all have to start giving me super chats and stuff. I don't even know what that does, really. But I would at some point like to get to 400, perhaps 500 subscribers. And that's what I want to do for some of y'all that are coming into my live streams. If you want to put your channels in the links to your channels in the chat, feel free to do so. I am allowing you guys to do that. But let's get started on with Monday Night Raw. As I said, I think before I was interrupted, actually, when I do these, I go in order of the days. So I go to the beginning of the week, which is Monday, and then Tuesday, then Wednesday, and then Friday. Those are the 4 days that I cover. Because I cover Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown. I don't cover Collision. I don't do Impact. And Rampage is, you know what it is. It's not very good, anyways. I don't think it'll ever be what it was, might have been intended to be, but it's no longer what it probably was. But let's get into it. The opening segment. Oh, hey, lightning bolts. Hey, lightning bolt. Thank you for coming. If you want to put a like on the live stream, feel free to do so. It's never a requirement, but I would appreciate it. I appreciate all the likes. Let's see if we can get up to 10 likes. And also, if there's anybody that has a channel and they are able to use and they have access to their community tab because they have at least 50 subscribers, if you want to share out my live stream to see if there might be any friends that you have that might be interested in watching, that sort of might be interested in wrestling, that you think might like to watch my live streams, feel free to do that as well. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. But let's get into it. The opening segment from Monday Night Raw, obviously, was Drew McIntyre. I think it was either Drew McIntyre was in the ring. He was talking about his match with talking about his upcoming match, which would be the first match of the night against Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes out. Obviously, they talk back and forth. They get into the match, and Drew McIntyre wins. It's simple. It was a good match. But the outcome was obviously predictable. Drew McIntyre was obviously going to win this match. But it has now officially. I'm pretty certain it's been confirmed now. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's one of the few things we actually got coming out of tonight. That night was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins confirmed. He will. He will, Dro. Everybody that I have heard up until this point that has had anything to say about Brock Lesnar, about when is he returning, is he returning at all this year, it's been no. Brock Lesnar will return in 2024 at the beginning, heading into the Royal Rumble. More than likely, if Brock Lesnar doesn't return before the Royal Rumble, he'll return in the Royal Rumble match itself. That's where a lot of returns happen. In a lot of recent years, a lot of returns have happened in the Royal Rumble match. And some of them have been really surprising, like Edge returning in 2020, which from what I understand was actually a pretty great, which was arguably one of the best returns in recent memory, besides maybe CM Punk, mainly because it was actually a secret. Nobody knew Edge was returning at the 2020 Royal Rumble. Him and his wife basically made it very clear that they wanted it to be a secret. I think it was one of those WWE, WWE things that they do on Peacock, like WWE 24 Chronicle, or one of those like side things that they do for their Peacock channel. They did, I guess, like a sort of like an interview or so where they talked about the Edge's return, and they basically, and what we learn is that they did not want anybody to know that Edge was coming back. So I thought that was pretty cool, because most of the time returns are either spoiled or already teased well in advance, and we know way in advance who's gonna, like, I don't know if they should have announced Cody Rhodes returning at the Royal Rumble, because then it would have been a much better surprise. Because it would have been a surprise. Once they announced Cody Rhodes was going to be in the Royal Rumble this year and was going to, then we knew, okay, Cody Rhodes might win. But up until that, but if they hadn't already mentioned that he was returning, then we would have been like, oh, we don't know who's going to win this year because maybe Gunther wins. But then obviously Cody Rhodes came back and he won. Does Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble again this year? I don't think he needs to. They're pretty much setting up Cody versus Seth at Mania, perhaps. So maybe CM Punk does win the Royal Rumble. Maybe they do an Elimination Chamber match to determine who will be Roman Reigns' opponent at Royal WrestleMania. And Cody Rhodes wins. That's my prediction. My prediction. CM Punk wins Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes wins Elimination Chamber. That's how we get those two matches at WrestleMania. I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think they need to have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble match just to get his hands on Roman Reigns. He can win the Elimination Chamber match just as easily, but I don't know. Maybe they want to glorify the Royal Rumble by having him win back-to-back Royal Rumbles, which will be only the third time that someone's done that. Maybe they want to go for that history of Cody Rhodes being only the third person in history to ever win back-to-back Royal Rumbles. I don't know, but they've been so focused on history nowadays. They want to like longest reigning this champion, longest reigning this champion, longest reigning that champion, and such. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna probably do that. They could do that, but I don't know. Then we get a Rhea Ripley promo. She basically like always, they get into a little bit of an argument. Obviously, Damian Priest is going to be kicked out of the group at some point. When? I don't know. No, it's their segment, him and Seth's segment from Monday Night Raw is pretty much confirmation that it's going to be him and CM Punk at WrestleMania. I just don't know why they would go with anybody else but Seth and CM Punk. Because it's the only thing that even makes the least bit of sense coming out of Monday Night Raw. We got another backstage segment with R-Truth meets Alpha Academy. I guess R-Truth is funny. It's funny. Just gonna say it. R-Truth is funny. He's definitely been missed on Monday Night Raw. I missed him. When he got injured, I was like, oh no. But then he came back. But now he's back, and he's already made a name for himself. In the worst possible way, because he just now made himself an enemy of the Judgment Day. Because later we would get... But the next match we got was Rhea Ripley versus Maxine Dupri. I don't know what happened here. I guess Maxine decided that she was ready to face someone of a true caliber, so she picked Rhea Ripley. I'm like, okay, good job, Maxine. Your career is going to be over faster than it started, faster than it began. But she didn't get too squashed. She didn't get squashed that much. She got some offense in. It's not like Rhea Ripley just completely overwhelmed her. Maxine did get some offense in, but it was not going to be enough. Rhea Ripley wins by submission. At one point, even after the match, she still refuses to release the hold, and then Ivy Nile would come into the ring. So they'd have a bit of a stare down with Rhea Ripley. I'm very much excited for that, because that could definitely be a good challenge for Rhea Ripley. If if they want to do a match for the women's world championship at the Royal Rumble, then why not have Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile? They got some time before they have to actually, before the Royal Rumble happens, so they could sort of just make it to be like, hey, you embarrassed my friend Maxine, and so now I'm gonna embarrass you at the Royal Rumble for the Women's World Championship. Obviously, she's gonna lose, but that would be an interesting match because I think Ivy Nile is gonna be great going forward. Next year, it's gonna be great for her. I'm more than certain. We got an Ivar versus Bronson Reed match. Before that, we would get a promo between them for the both of them. It was what it was. It was good. We also got a backstage segment with Judgment Day confronting CM Punk. Interesting segment. Interesting segment because Judgment Day have now officially branded him not so much an enemy of the Judgment Day, but they're basically telling him, don't get involved in our business. We won't get involved in yours. I think at some point this could lead, if Judgment Day do at some point start to target CM Punk, it's gonna probably eventually lead to a AJ Lee return / AJ Mendez return because Rhea Ripley's in Judgment Day. There's no way Rhea Ripley you're gonna get. I mean, since Rhea is in Judgment Day, it's only gonna make sense that at some point, if that does happen, then we'll get an AJ Lee return to have AJ confront Rhea, which would be great. A great return. Obviously, hopefully they can keep it a secret and not spoil it beforehand because that's obviously not what we want. We want our returns to be a surprise, to be a genuine surprise, and not like, oh wait, this guy returned. Oh wait, yeah, I already remember they said that he was returning, or they spoiled it already. We got R-Truth segment in the ring where he confronts Judgment Day. Judgment Day obviously weren't exactly happy. R-Truth had some conditions that JD needed to be kicked out of the group because apparently nobody likes him. And also he said that Priest should stop calling himself the boss because apparently Mommy doesn't like it. And she always constantly gets frustrated when he or I guess tries to be the boss of the group or the leader of the group, which is not actually a wrong statement because we have seen it. I've seen it where Rhea Ripley looks frustrated with Damian Priest at times when it seems like he's trying to be the leader of the group. He's like, Priest, what are you doing? But eventually it gets to the point where the Judgment Day are now beating down on R-Truth. The Creed brothers, who will be, I don't know when their match with the Judgment Day is going to happen, but it looks like it might be happening this upcoming Monday. I'm hoping. And hopefully Creed brothers can win. I don't know if they're going to win, but it might be. They might win, actually. If they do, that would be great. It'd be great for them because they're definitely going to be a great tag team in the near future. We also got another backstage segment with Damian Priest Drew McIntyre confronting CM Punk. CM Punk's backstage got confronted by Drew McIntyre. I can't remember what was all said, but then he also sort of had a little bit of a interaction with some other superstars, namely Kofi Kingston, this was one of the funniest parts of the show. Immediately, as soon as he sees Kofi Kingston, immediately says, "Hey, Jamaican, be crazy, right?" And then Kofi Kingston's like, "No, I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do that anymore." And I thought, oh yeah. Yeah, because when Kofi Kingston first came up to the main roster, he had a Jamaican accent. He was supposed to be from Jamaica, and that was the gimmick that he was from Jamaica. Before he was hilariously exposed on Raw by Triple H in a segment leading up to I guess the Survivor Series that year. I guess it was in the lead up to that year's Survivor Series, and we all don't know what happened. He was talking, but he wasn't even talking in his Jamaican accent, and Triple H hilariously exposed him. Like, aren't you supposed to be from Jamaica? Where's your accent? That was so funny. And Kofi's face at that time was priceless. Like, he was like, oops. Oh, I goofed it up. And since then, I guess they had to drop the gimmick, the accent since then, because it wouldn't have worked. But it was a funny moment that I thought was perfect. We also got a DIY confrontation with Imperium. They're getting, we would get a six-man tag team match between Gunther, between all of Imperium versus DIY and a mystery opponent. I didn't, to be honest, as soon as that was announced, I was like, yeah, no, it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. It's going to be Miz. Because Miz, as Miz even confronted Gunther after the Survivor Series and said, "Hey, I want another shot at the title, at the Continental title." And now we're gonna get another, and now he's gonna get his shot. But the stipulation that Gunther presented was that if he loses, he can't challenge for the title ever again, as long as he's champion. And that was also the stipulation that Bobby Lashley made to Drew McIntyre back at Hell in a Cell 2021, where if Drew lost, he wouldn't get another shot at the WWE title as long as Bobby Lashley was champion. Eventually, he did get another shot at it, but that was after Big E had cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. So I think that's a great way to. But now we know. But now we know that he's not going to win because it's a foregone conclusion. If he loses, doesn't get another shot at the title. So that automatically means that he's going to lose. But then they could also give him the title just to surprise us. But I think Gunther retains that time. But yes, Miz was the mystery, quote unquote mystery partner, even though I knew it wasn't because also they were in Cleveland for Monday Night Raw. Did you not think Miz was going to not be there in Cleveland? Basically his hometown? Yeah. Let's DIY versus Imperium. They won. They won. I can't remember who was eventually pinned, but I'm sure it was probably Ludwig Kaiser, maybe, because he's the one that's being the most frustrating that's the most frustrated in the group because it just seems like Gunther is constantly praising Giovanni Vinci, and even when Ludwig Kaiser does good, it's like Gunther fails to see it or just decides not to, and just I mean, Ludwig Kaiser beat Tommaso Ciampa a couple weeks ago with Giovanni Vinci's help, but it's like Gunther didn't even care that Vinci won, that Kaiser won. He just praised Vinci for helping. Like, it just seems like they're going to break up Imperium. I don't think it needs to happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. I'm sorry, but it shouldn't happen. Judgment Day is the cracks are forming. It definitely looks like Damian Priest is getting kicked out, but I don't think the group as a whole should break up. I just think they're gonna break Damian Priest away from the group, but that's it. I'm hoping that's it. And with Damage Control, Bailey seems to be out eventually. So hopefully that happens. Sooner rather than later, because I don't think that we need to really hear any more of that. Hey Everboss. Thank you for coming. You're not late. Just whenever you guys can get here, I don't mind at all. To be honest, you're not actually late. I'm just early because fish sandwich. Nice. I don't like fish. I like fish sticks, but that's it. We got we got Miz confronting Gunther. He said he wants another shot at the title. Final title. Gunther says, "Okay, I'll give you the title shot on one condition. If you lose, you cannot challenge me ever again for this title." More than likely, Gunther will win, but knowing that stipulation, they might have Miz win just for the surprise factor. We got a Katana Chance versus Indy Hartwell. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I didn't hear that at all, really. Also, if some of you guys, if there's someone in this live chat that's just now coming in, if you want to put a like on the live stream, feel free to do so. It's never required, but I would appreciate it. Like you ever was. I don't know if you've liked the live stream yet, but if you haven't, feel free to do so. Never required, but I would appreciate it. We got Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. But before that, we got a video package for them, which was actually a pretty decent video package. I don't know what they're going to do with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. It looks like they're going to be setting up a title match between them and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I'm hoping that's the case, because then maybe Katana Chance and Kaden Carter win. Chance and Carter win. I don't know, but last night we did get a bit of a video package involving Damage Control, in which Bayley basically said that the Kabuki Warriors would also be coming for the Women's Tag Team Championships. So maybe they do a triple threat match. Maybe they do a triple threat match between Chance Carter, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven versus the Kabuki Warriors, and maybe Chance and Carter win by pinning the tag team champs. And then maybe at WrestleMania we get a rematch. We get a match between the Kabuki Warriors and Chance and Carter. That would be an interesting match, and I'd love to see that. We also got an in-ring segment with CM Punk. This was probably the most important segment of the night. CM Punk's decision. Where would he go? Would he go to Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? Obviously, he picked Raw because I feel like they're setting up a match between him and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins would come out and sort of interrupt this segment, and then we got a Seth Rollins CM Punk promo, which I thought was perfect. It was perfect. Now, some people immediately after the segment started leaving comments and started tweeting, if I'm not mistaken, that some people thought it was Seth Rollins comments. Certain comments that Seth Rollins made were almost like a direct. I'm trying to think of the word, but like he copied and pasted words that Hangman and Page had made during a promo segment between him and CM Punk in the lead up to their Double or Nothing match for the AEW World Championship. Because if you look at the two promos side by side, there are some words that are very, very similar, if not the exact same, as words that the other person had said. So many people were calling that out. I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe Seth Rollins saw that promo and decided, I'm just going to take some words from that promo and just put them into my promo. Who knows what happened there, but that was interesting that some people were calling that out, saying that, hey, this sounds almost exactly like the same promo that Hangman and Page made, especially when Seth Rollins talked about protecting WWE, not just Raw, but WWE as a whole, from CM Punk, and that was almost an exact duplicate of the line that Hangman Adam Page said when he said that he was going to be protecting not just this AEW World Championship but all of AEW from CM Punk. But hey, it was what it was. It was a great segment. It was obviously it was needed. It was needed at some point. At some point, it was needed. And also, CM Punk promised to expose either. Also, CM Punk would say, Seth Rollins would say that either CM Punk is going to expose himself, or he's going to expose CM Punk for him, or he's going to expose CM Punk himself. So either way, he's basically telling you, CM Punk, you're getting exposed. Either you're going to do it or I'm going to do it. But it's going to happen one way or another. So that's going to be great. This is going to be a great feud. Obviously, there's the question of whether or not the hate that they seem to have is actually real or whether it's just worked or whether it's just for the storyline. But if it actually is real, man, this might actually turn into a shoot. The match might actually turn into a shoot at some point, which actually would not actually be the worst thing. Oh yes, I did actually see that. I did hear about that. Ugh, man, I feel for her. That was man, I can't even imagine what that's like getting arrested. I've never been arrested, so. But damn, I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. Then we got the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, this was a match that I was actually kind of looking forward to. I thought maybe Shinsuke Nakamura would win. There were also some people that said that he might use the mist to get the win. I know. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I heard about that. But Shinsuke Nakamura did use the red mist, but the referee saw it, and apparently that meant the disqualification, so the match ended in DQ. I just don't know why they couldn't just have Shinsuke Nakamura win outright by having him pin Cody Rhodes. Are they just so afraid of Cody Rhodes being pinned? Are they doing the same thing with Cody Rhodes that they're doing with Roman Reigns, where they're just so hesitant to have anybody pin him that they're just gonna have this match in a lousy DQ? I mean, it makes sense, but it just made even more sense for Shinsuke Nakamura to actually pin Cody Rhodes. Because Cody Rhodes is already pretty much made. His match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 is pretty much made. It's gonna happen. Cody Rhodes is already the top babyface, obviously, in the entire company. Well, the top babyface on Raw. And second, if you were to ask me who I would consider to be the second babyface in the company, it would be LA Knight, obviously, followed by Randy Orton and also Jey Uso, guys like that, and Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, some of the more popular baby faces. No, I don't think she's going to get released. I hope not. She'll probably come back once she's done with rehabilitating her injury. I know, but I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it because I know it's not going to happen. So I can't imagine it. I won't imagine something that's not going to happen, that I know isn't going to happen. But after the match, Shinsuke Nakamura would again attack Cody Rhodes with knees to the gut, I guess. I think it was to the gut. Then we got what I thought was an interesting move, and that they had the Creed brothers come out and save Cody Rhodes, which I think that if anything, that should show you how they view the Creed brothers in general. If they're having the Creed brothers do a save, not just on R-Truth, who is one of the most beloved superstars in WWE, but also, well, to be honest, that one made sense because they are facing a Judgment Day. but also saving R-Truth, who is one of the most beloved WWE superstars as of right now, and saving Cody Rhodes, who is the number one babyface on that brand, shows you just what they think of the Creed brothers, and they think very highly of them. Yeah, didn't hear about that, but hey, but yeah, I think the Creed brothers might actually win the tag team titles, but we'll see what happens. That was basically it for Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate Monday Night Raw, I would give it a, I don't know, it would be at least a 7.5 out of 10, because it was a great show. It was a great show. A good 6-man tag team match. I mean, a simple yet effective tag team match between the women, Jansen Carter versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. A good Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso match. Some great segments, backstage segments and stuff. A great CM Punk Seth Rollins promo, and the main event was pretty decent too. So it would be at least a 7 out of 10. Now on to NXT. NXT, we got a couple of returns. We have gotten a couple of returns coming out of the last few weeks. Also, coming out of NXT Deadline, we got Cora Jade. Cora Jade is back. Cora Jade is back. We got Nikita Lyons back. I don't think Cora Jade was even really injured. I think she was just taking a hiatus, which I don't know why. But now we can clearly see that she's sort of transformed herself. As we all know, she's transformed herself. And so that's interesting, to say the least. We got Nikita Lyons back, and I'm a huge fan of hers. She's definitely going to be great for the women's division down in NXT. I think once they bring her up to the main roster, she will do just fine. She will do just fine. I definitely do. I don't know. She might actually win the NXT Women's Championship next year, at some point next year. Maybe. I mean, we already have Lyra Valkyria versus Blair Davenport confirmed for New Year's Evil, because Blair Davenport won the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline. So, but it does look like Cora Jade is wanting that NXT Women's Championship as well. So maybe between now and New Year's Evil, she tries to weasel her way into that match. And maybe she wins it by pinning Lyra Valkyria, or at least pinning Blair Davenport. That way, the champion still looks somewhat strong in defeat. No, I can't. I can't. I just don't have the money right now to buy any games and whatnot. I don't even have like a gaming system. I don't even have a gaming system. But most of the games I do play are either on my phone or on my computer. I'm currently playing a game right now on my computer, which I will actually show you guys once I'm done with this live stream. We got a Cora Jade promo in the beginning, in the opening segment. Blair Davenport would also come out and would also talk. I'm guessing she was talking about her upcoming match against Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria would come out, and then Nikita Lyons would come out. Obviously, Nikita Lyons was taken out by the Blair Davenport, as well as a whole bunch of other superstars, including Roxanne Perez. She's already feuded with Blair. Sol Ruka, and Wendy Chu are the only two women that are left that need to come back and feud with Blair Davenport, because they're the only two other superstars that were taken out by Blair. And so we got that. We got a tag team match confirmed from this. We also officially have the men's breakout tournament, Oba Femi versus Miles Bourne. I actually do not know who won. I can't remember who won. I just know that that's the match took place. I think Obafemi did win. Also, we got in the Men's Breakout Tournament Riley Osborne versus Keanu Carver, however you say his name. I can't even remember who won that game, who won that match. Yep. We got Carmelo Hayes was apparently attacked. I don't know what happened there, but we would get in. Well, he would actually address it in the main events that night. We also got a small segment involving the men's breakout tournament competitors. All of the competitors in the breakout tournament this year I guess they had them out in the at the entranceway, I guess showing off, like, hey, this is our men's breakout tournament this year. This is all the competitors. And apparently we got Lexis King taking out one of the competitors, Trey Bearhill. Don't even know why that name is even a name. It sounds like something stupid. Like, what is he supposed to resemble? Is his name suggesting that he's supposed to be a bear or supposed to resemble characteristics of a bear? Like, be original, WWE. Be original. But what we did get out of this was later on in the night, Ava Raine, who I'm guessing has now secretly acquired officiating duties, whereas she can officiate matches and whatnot, because she orchestrated the steel cage match between Kiana James and Roxanne Perez at Deadline. And now she's officially announced to Lexis King that because of Trey Bearhill not being able to compete in the tournament because of the attack that Lexis King did, Lexis King is now in the tournament. And I'm now going to say this because before Lexis King was announced to be part of the tournament, I had no idea who was going to win. Mainly because I knew almost none of the talent in this match. I've seen Luca Cristofiano, the guy that's always wearing a suit, that seems to be always wearing a suit and has sort of like a lawyer gimmick. I've seen him once or twice on NXT Level Up. I've seen Tavion Heights, the Tavion Heights guy, whoever he is. I've seen him. I think he's supposed to be the guy that used to be in Diamond Mine but then turned heel. Supposed to be his brother, I think. But Lexis King is now officially a part of the NXT Men's Breakout Tournament. And because of that, I am now officially saying it right here. I say Lexis King wins the Men's Breakout Tournament this year for NXT. This seems to be he's now the only credible guy in the tournament that I even know that I would think even has a chance. But we got most of these guys were guys that I either did not know who the hell they were, or I had only seen like maybe once or twice. And those few times that I did see them, they were on an NXT Level Up, which is, I guess, a sort of like their version of AEW Rampage, whereas it's just a 1-hour show on Saturday that showcases some lesser known NXT talent or NXT talent that they just don't have the time to showcase on Tuesday nights. I don't know what they're doing with this breakout tournament, but I'm just going to say it right now, Lexis King wins. Will I care? Probably, actually, because it might be interesting to see who... Because I know we're getting Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT title at New Year's Evil. I think what they're setting up is a feud between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, which will run until Stand and Deliver. Carmelo Hayes will probably lose that match, give the rub to Trick, and then Carmelo Hayes jumps up to the main roster. potentially joining Bobby Lashley's new Street Profits or Her Profits faction, which I think would be great for him, a great fit for him, and so that's how I see it going down. We also got a Chase U promo. We have recently, Chase U has been brought up on allegations of gambling funds and stuff, and so I'm thinking the only person that even made even the least bit of sense when I heard this was Duke Hudson, because before he joined Chase U, that was his gimmick. He had a gambling gimmick, and then obviously I'm thinking maybe that was Duke Hudson that did that. But we'll find out what the end game to that is. And hey, Danny, I did see your comments. Greetings from South Carolina. And also, oh, and Danny, I did see your video. I saw your video on your DJ Wrestling Inc. channel. I guess you're a fan of Nikita Lyons I guess you're just as much of a fan of Nikita Lyons as I am. Yeah, I like Nikita Lyons. We got a match. We got a promo between Fallon Henley, Brooks Jensen, and Josh Briggs. I guess they were going to be in a six-man tag team match against Metaphor for Aura Mensa, Noam Dar, and Nash Legend versus Fallon Henley, Brooks Jensen, and Josh Briggs. Actually, Fallon Henley, Josh Briggs, and Brooks Jensen, they actually won the match, which was a little bit surprising that they had the babyface team actually win. That's interesting. We got, let's see. We got Nikita Lyons. Now, there's something going on in NXT that I'd like to talk about for a minute or two, and that's a supposed and that is a storyline that NXT seems to be running right now that is giving me vibes of a certain feud from way back when in 2006. Tatum Paxley, who is a NXT women's superstar, seems to be becoming rather, I guess, infatuated or just obsessed with Lyra Valkyria, and seems to be sort of stalking, because earlier on in the show, we got a little backstage segment involving Lyra Valkyria and Nikita Lyons, where they talked up their tag team match later on in the night. And at one point when Lyra opened up her locker, there's a picture on the locker door of her and Becky. It's supposed to be of her and Becky Lynch from when she pinned Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch raised her hand at NXT Halloween Havoc. But apparently Tatum Paxley, I guess maybe she pasted her face onto Becky Lynch. So I don't know what this is going towards. I mean, this is giving me Trish Stratus and Mickie James vibes from 2006 with the whole creepy, psychopath thing where she was sort of obsessed with Trish Stratus and was obsessed with being Trish's friend. It's giving me those vibes, which I am not mad at, because that was a great feud. And the match that we got at WrestleMania was a great match that year at WrestleMania 22, which actually saw Mickie James win the Women's Championship from Trish Stratus. That was interesting. So I can't wait to see where this storyline goes. Maybe it eventually leads to a match between the two, which I think it's going to eventually have to lead to a match. But I'm actually interested in seeing where this goes. We also got Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. Now, this was also an interesting match, mainly because of what happened during the match. We got, at one point, Dijak, I guess, took the top turnbuckle completely off and just started hitting Eddie Thorpe with it, which I thought was like, okay, damn. I thought that Braun Breaker, hey, I thought that Braun Breaker smashing the steel ring steps on the Von Wagner's head was brutal. This was just as brutal. Obviously after the match, Dijak was interviewed and he basically said, this feud with Eddie Thorpe, it's not done. It's not done until I say it's done. I'm not done with Eddie Thorpe. So looks like we're gonna probably get a third match out of this. Maybe it's a stipulation match because we already got a strap match between the two of them. And this was just a normal match, which ended in DQ after, obviously, like I just said, Eddie Thorpe, Dijak decided to rip the top turnbuckle off and started attacking Eddie Thorpe with the steel part of the turnbuckle, which I thought was brutal. We got Nikita Lyons, Lyra Valkyria versus Blair Davenport and Cora Jade. The heels won after the match. Obviously, Tatum Paxley came into the ring, started cozying up to Lyra Valkyria. Lyra definitely looked creeped out as hell. I know I would be if I had some obsessed fans sort of cozying up to me, even if they were a fellow superstar. I'd be like, get away from me, please. Like, what's your problem? What's your deal with me? Like, why do you like me so much? Or why do you want to be friends with me so much? Then we got the main event, which was Trick Williams came out to address his match with Ilya Dragunov. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes would then come out. Ilya Dragunov would come out, and then Carmelo Hayes would come out and would address him being attacked. He even accused Ilya Dragunov of being the one that attacked him. And obviously, that didn't happen. I mean, this supposed sort of storyline of Trick Williams getting hurt, getting attacked, and then Carmelo Hayes getting attacked actually somewhat reminds me of what they did with Enzo and Cass. Where Cass attacked Enzo, and then at one point Cass tries to make it look like he was attacked at one point, only for us to realize that he attacked Enzo, and then he just decided to attack himself to make it seem like someone was also targeting him as well, but it wasn't. This could be that type of storyline, but this will definitely be better, obviously. But also Carmelo Hayes would accidentally attack Ilya Dragunov in the main event, which was interesting. Also, from what I have heard recently at an NXT taping, Ilya Dragunov was supposedly working a match with Ridge Holland and got carted off on a stretcher. Now, from what I've heard, the injury is storyline related and not real. So I'm like, okay, that's nice to hear, but why did it have to be Ridge Holland? Why did it have to be Ridge Holland, the guy that is notorious, that has now been notorious, is now notorious for causing injuries? I mean, eventually it's going to get to the point where, whether it's a storyline injury or not, WWE's going to be like, hey, you can't be injuring people anymore. Eventually, he's going to earn a reputation for being just like Ryback, a big, strong dude who can wrestle but is also prone to injuring people. Because we all know that's what Ryback was known for. He was known for injuring people. But that's all I have to say about NXT. If I had to rate NXT, it would be 6.5 out of 10. It was good. Wasn't as good as Monday Night Raw, but it was still pretty good, like it's always been in my eyes. Now on to Dynamite. We got the Continental Classic. Obviously, has been dominating in AEW Dynamite as of late. We got 3 Gold League matches and even 1 Blue League match tonight. We got Brody King versus Andrade. I can't remember who won that one, but I think Roosh versus Jay Lethal. Roosh, I think, did win. Mark Briscoe versus Jay White. Jay White won his match. Moxley versus Swerve, which I was thinking was going to end in a draw because I felt like these two really don't. Neither one of these men really deserve to be pinned because they're both strong, the strongest in the field, and I felt like neither one of them can really afford to take a pin here. So I thought maybe they'd go for a draw, time limit draw, but no. Moxley beat Swerve. Jon Moxley beat Swerve. It was a great match actually, but Jon Moxley did beat Swerve. We also got Riho versus Ruby Soho. I mean, who really cares about Riho? She comes back, works a few matches, and then just leaves again, only to be seen maybe 4 months later. Like she leaves, comes back for a few weeks, then goes again, then comes back after a few months, and it's like nobody's really gonna care if they're not care. Maybe we're getting a match between Riho and Toni Storm later on down the line for the AEW Women's Championship. Maybe it's at World's End. Maybe they just decide to do that at World's End, which I think would be a good idea. Even though I don't know if I'd like the match, I'd like it if they just decide to hold off on this match. If they are considering doing this, and they just build it up for World's End instead of just making it for a random episode of Monday Night of AEW Dynamite, because apparently they think, oh, having a random title match on AEW Dynamite will bring in viewers. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, you can put a random title match on AEW Dynamite or Collision or Rampage, and that's not going to get people to watch the show even more. I mean, having your champion on the show, it's going to help, but you don't have to put them in a random title match just because you think it's going to draw in more viewers. We also got a promo with the Golden Jets of Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. I don't even know what way they came up with that name. We also got a little bit of a interesting and funny moment here where the Ricky Starks and Big Bill came out afterwards to confront Jericho, and basically they were wanting a match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now that match is not going to happen because from what I have now learned is that Kenny Omega has diverticulitis. I think it's the same thing that Brock Lesnar had back in like 2010. I think twice actually, but the second time wasn't nearly as bad as the first. But I think it was the same thing that Brock Lesnar had. And I'm like, oh dang! And I know how that. And there's a Brock Lesnar sort of biography here at the library, and it's in the book. It actually talks about it, and it from what I read, like Brock Lesnar, you wouldn't think of it. You wouldn't think that he would always. He looks like a beast and he looks like a monster. But when you're sick, even the biggest monsters can look human, and he did. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I hope Kenny Omega is fine. I hope Kenny Omega gets well. But there was a funny part in this segment where Kenny Omega would comment and would say that Ricky Starks looks like a better dressed but less charismatic version of Enzo Amore, which I thought was actually a great little moment because we all know Big Bill / Big Cass, obviously former tag team partner of Enzo Amore, and it actually did sort of make a little bit of sense for the promo that they would, with the fact that Big Bill now is a part of a new tag team that, and his partner is like a better dressed yet less charismatic version of his old partner, which I thought it was pretty funny. Funny. We also got a Hangman Adam Page versus Roderick Strong match, which was I thought was pretty darn good. Hangman Adam Page won. I think Roderick Strong has been losing a lot recently. He's also been winning, but I think he's been losing a lot as well. But he's now officially no longer using the wheelchair, which I think, hallelujah, we were running that into the ground. But he's still wearing the collar on his neck. I don't know how much longer they're gonna have him wearing that before he eventually decides, oh, I don't need it anymore. Yeah. I like Roderick Strong, but I just feel like he's being made to look like a joke right now. Is that too much to ask? Is that me just being nitpicky? I hope not. And also, the opening segment was Samoa Joe was a promo segment between Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Roderick Strong. Samoa Joe was calling out Hangman Adam Page because he thought that Hangman was the one that attacked MJF last week because there was supposed to be a bottle near. It supposedly was busted open with a bottle, and obviously Cowboys drank, and so that basically led Samoa Joe to think that it was Hangman Adam Page. But then obviously also Hangman Adam Page was also attacked that night by the Devil's Goons and put through a car windshield, which people were automatically, as soon as that happened, people were like, oh no, that looks like almost exactly like the same moment that we got during the Jack Perry versus Hook match at All In, where Jack Perry hoists Hook up and plants him into a car windshield. The same car windshield the same car that he drove in, that he drove in on. And now people are thinking it's Jack Perry who's the devil. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I don't think it's the devil. I don't think he's it. If it is, oh, this is going to be one of the biggest letdowns because why would Jack Perry be attacking all these superstars? What would he have to gain from doing this? Has he really interacted with these superstars any within the last few months? I don't think so. So it would just make no sense. Oh, like, well, they have history together, yeah, but lately, I don't care about their history together because lately they haven't had any interactions with each other. But that's basically all that happened on Dynamite. Not much else really happened that was important or anything. Backstage segments, whatever. But if I had to rate Dynamite last night, it was a very good episode of Dynamite, minus the kind of somewhat, I guess, the unpredictability of the Continental Classic. I would rate Dynamite a 7 out of 10. It was a pretty good show. And now for Friday Night SmackDown. Now, I'm not going to lie, I actually did not watch most of Friday Night SmackDown, mainly because I was at a birthday party. I have a new video uploaded to my YouTube channel called "The Birthday Party for Jesus Turns into Nerf Warfare." The church I go to, last night, our church had a birthday party for Jesus. And the main event, so the main attraction, we were doing just a bunch of things. We had pizza, cupcakes. It was a lot of fun.
About 3:45, so we need to start
Okay.
wrapping things up shortly, and then
Okay.
go get your books or whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Okay.
But the main attraction was a Nerf war with Nerf guns and stuff. Yes, I have a Nerf gun. I've had it for a few years since my dad's family got it for me for Christmas one year. I still have it, and so that's what that was. And so it ran until like 8:30. I think it was 8:30 when it eventually ended, and we didn't actually get home until after 9. So I only got to watch the last hour of the show, the second hour of the show, but I do know what happened for the first hour, so I'll get to that. Roman Reigns opener. Roman Reigns was talking about Roman Reigns returned. He talked about how when someone in his family is doing good, they honor that, and when someone within the family is screwing up, they let them know about it. They let them know in their own way. We smash them, is what he said, but that's not what this is about. He wanted to talk about who will eventually become the heir to the tribal chief, and Jimmy Uso was very excited. You could tell he was very excited because he was thinking, oh, this is going to be me, I'm going to be the heir to the tribal chief. But no, it was Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is now the heir to the tribal chief. So basically, they're basically letting you know, in the event that Roman Reigns does leave and the bloodline doesn't actually split, then yes, it will be Solo Sikoa who will be the main guy going forward. Whenever Roman's not there, obviously, whenever Roman's not there, it just seems like Solo Sikoa is the one that's doing everything, doing all the heavy lifting anyways for the bloodline, so it makes sense. But it's great. Can't wait to see what happens in the near future. They actually could be doing a thing. It could lead to Jimmy Uso wanting out, or it could lead to the bloodline just saying, you've goofed up way too many times. You've been losing all these matches. You've been failing to put away these superstars that I've asked you to put away for good, and you always keep losing. So you're done. You're out. And what boggles my mind is that we still have not gotten any confirmation from Roman Reigns that Jimmy Uso is in the bloodline. We still have not gotten that confirmation from Roman Reigns that says, yes, Jimmy, you're in the bloodline again. Welcome back. We still haven't gotten that. We're still waiting for that. Now, I'll get to that later. We got... then Randy Orton would come out. Obviously, he wants a match with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Now, Roman Reigns didn't actually accept the match. He did say that get to the back of the line because you don't know how this works here. You can't just come back and expect a title shot. But then Roman Reigns got taken out by the bloodline. What do you expect him to do? Oh, yeah, AJ was a surprise. Oh, hey, Danny, are you excited that Nikita Lyons is back? Are you excited that Nikita Lyons is back? Because I know I am. I love her. It wasn't a good... I mean, the fact that he took out LA Knight was definitely the surprise part. But yeah. Oh, Danny, I saw your video on your DJ Wrestling Inc. channel. With Nikita Lyons. I saw the video. Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know what their plans are for the Royal Rumble. We also got a Roman Reigns LA Knight backstage segment immediately following this, I think. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I would agree. The best thing. She is definitely good, and she's definitely good to look at. Can't believe I just said that. I don't know who you are, CM Punk. You're not the real CM Punk, obviously. We got a Roman Reigns, Randy Orton versus an LA Knight confrontation backstage. Randy Orton basically told LA Knight, stay out of my business, and I'll stay out of yours. But LA Knight basically told Randy Orton, look, I'm sorry, but I've got my own problems with the bloodline, so you're just gonna have to accept the fact that I'm gonna be inserting myself into the bloodline's business in the near future. Also, we got another backstage segment with Roman Reigns confronting Jimmy Uso. Basically, he told him, take care of Randy Orton in the main event, which I don't know why they always have to have the bloodline in the main event. In a match that means nothing, and we all knew Randy Orton was going to win. We got a Karrion Kross promo, which was interesting because some people are saying he basically talked about about recycling and potentially about coming back as a different person or coming back different. Some people are already thinking that they're gonna be bringing back. Now it has been reported it was reported months ago that AOP, the Authors of Pain, have been signed back to WWE with Paul Ellering, their manager. Now, some people are already thinking Karrion Kross is going to come back within the near future with AOP and Paul Ellering, and they're going to be a faction. Obviously, with Scarlett too, right? You don't have Karrion Kross without Scarlett. Karrion Kross's first run highlighted just how much of an asset Scarlett is to his character. Because if you take away Scarlett and you take away everything that made Karrion Kross what he was in NXT, you basically just get you're just getting a generic big strong guy who can really wrestle yet has no character or anything. Oh yeah. Oh, goof YouTube blocked it. Yeah, that's YouTube for you. That's YouTube for you. They will block anything. They will block anything nowadays. We got a Bayley promo with Damage Control and how they're going to be coming after all of the gold in WWE. Kabuki Warriors will be challenging for the women's tag team titles, and then Bayley will win the Royal Rumble match, challenge Rhea, win the Women's World Championship, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we're getting Bayley getting kicked out of Damage Control. When that happens, I don't know. Also, we're getting Damian Priest getting kicked out of Judgment Day. That's when that happens. Again, I don't know. Maybe that actually happens at the Royal Rumble during the Seth versus Drew match. Excuse me. I will give you that. We also got Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka versus Zelina Vega and Michin. I don't really know who won because I just know that match happened. I'm pretty sure that the Kabuki Warriors won. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kairi Sane and Asuka are definitely a great tag team. They're definitely a great tag team. We also got the U.S. title tournament this week. Carmelo Hayes coming up to the main roster for the very first time on SmackDown against Grayson Waller. He actually beat Grayson Waller in a nice little match. We also got Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens, which I actually believe was the best match of the night. Went almost 15 minutes, and Kevin Owens won. I think they are going to have him win this tournament and face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble, which will be a great match for both Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. We also got Jimmy Uso, obviously, versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton obviously won. But what happened after the match is what people were talking about the most, and that is LA Knight came out, Roman Reigns came out, attacked Randy Orton, obviously, so Sikoa and the Bloodline all decided to attack Randy Orton. LA Knight comes out. Yeah, he kind of does. Maybe he needs to shave his beard. Maybe he needs to shave his beard and go back to what he looked like when he was the face of America, where he had like the short beard, where he just had the short, kind of like mine, where it's not like overly long, but it's just enough of a beard. Because I think he looked better when he was the face of America, the new face of America. Maybe, I don't know, but that's just the way I feel about Kevin Owens. But yes, AJ Styles returned. Was it a good surprise? I actually don't know. Maybe. I know someone that will say that Kevin Owens is an overweight, fatty, but I'm not going to talk about that guy because he's blocked on my channel, and I don't need that kind of negativity on my channel. Also, we got AJ Styles return. Now, in terms of AJ Styles return, he attacked the Bloodline, but then almost immediately decided to attack LA Knight, which I don't know why that happened. Now, he was wearing all black, and I know someone, and I did leave a comment on the video, on the return video, on the video that had AJ Styles return, and some was like, okay, why did this happen? Why did this happen? And someone decided to reply with saying that the fact that he was wearing all black is is supposed to be a nod to a gimmick he had in TNA/Impact, where he was basically a lone wolf, where he had a lone wolf kind of gimmick, where he wasn't anybody's friend or anybody's enemy, and he was just on his own. And he was always wearing black. So I'm like, okay, I might have to look that up and see what that entails. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe this is their way of splitting up OC and having Carl Anderson and Gallows on their own thing. Michin could do her own thing, maybe with Zelina Vega. I don't know. But they could be, I don't know, they've been teasing dissension in OC also for a while now. So maybe this is their way of just quietly breaking up the group. Who knows? If I had to rate SmackDown, it would be a 6.5, 7 out of 10. It was a great show. Better than I thought it was going to be. Because SmackDown hasn't been as good as Monday Night Raw. But hey, that is what it is. Now, I'm going to be leaving soon. I'm leaving soon, so I'm going to have to end this live stream. I do want to thank everybody for coming, who did come and left a like. I had 6 likes. It's not bad for a live stream. Oh, Danny. It'd probably get a lot of views. I know Moxley would probably leave a comment. Snarky one at that. But yes, I do want to thank you guys for coming. I will, next time I go live, who knows? But you know I will be going live on Saturdays. The only day where you know 100% with 100% certainty that I am going live. But I want to thank you guys. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming, and I will see you guys later. Till next time, peace.